Hello and welcome back to the Academic Society. I'm Toyin, the founder of the Academic Society, and today I am telling you about my biggest pieces of grad school advice. So I was recently on a panel of McNair scholars who are also faculty members, and we were doing this panel for current McNair scholars. And so they were asking us questions about our experience and transition from undergrad to grad school and into our faculty positions. And so the final question was, what's one takeaway that you want the McNair scholars to learn about grad school? Like, what's your biggest piece of advice? And I said one thing, but I really have three biggest pieces of advice, and I had to get them out, so I'm creating this video. So in this video, I'm sharing my three best pieces of advice for grad school success, navigating grad school, and just having a good experience and making the most out of your experience in grad school. So if you're interested in that, keep watching this video. I'm Toyin, the founder of the Academic Society. I got my PhD in math and landed my dream job as a lecturer at a university. And I also create these videos for grad students and academics about time management, productivity, and my academic lifestyle. So today I'm sharing my three biggest pieces of advice for grad school. Number one, know your why. Why are you in grad school? Because grad school is tough. And going to grad school just to check it off your list, just so you have the word doctor in front of your name or PhD after your name, is not a good enough reason to go to grad school, because that is not going to be the thing that keeps you in your program when it gets tough. When it gets tough, you are going to want to quit grad school multiple times, and you're going to need something more than I just want to be called doctor. So, because it looks fancy, right? You're gonna need more than just that to get you through, because if it's not deep enough, you will leave the program, right? So it's so important to be very connected to your why. And your why may look very different from others. So for me, my why has definitely transformed and gotten deeper as I progressed in my career. When I first went to grad school, my why was I love math. I just want to keep learning about math, and it just brought me joy to do math, right? And I knew I wanted to live a life that I loved, but I wasn't able to articulate that. But I knew that I wanted to do something that I loved. And at the moment that I was applying for grad school, math is the thing that I loved. I eventually learned that I love sharing that thing that I love with other people. I love teaching. I love making math feel easy to students who think that they can't do it. So that's one of my whys. And another why is I really will have a heart to help other people feel like they love their life and not waste their life hating it, right? I don't want people to ever hate their life, and I want people to live a life that they love. And that's why I started the Academic Society, to show grad students that you can actually enjoy your life in grad school and still be successful in grad school at the same time. So like I mentioned, my why was just because I loved math and I wanted to learn about it. Your why could be like you've noticed something in your community that just isn't right, and you want to figure out how to fix it. So you want to learn more about it. You want to do research on it. And that's a great reason to go to grad school. Maybe you want to find a cure for something. You want to experiment on something. You want to change some type of political policy. Those are great, deep reasons for going to grad school. You want to make a better life for yourself, all kinds of things. But I highly recommend that you figure out exactly why you're in grad school. Write it down so that when things get tough, you can always go back and say, oh, this is so hard, but I'm doing it because of insert why here. My second piece of advice, don't isolate yourself. You do not want to do grad school alone. Like I mentioned, it is tough, and you want to have a support system. You want to have an accountability partner who is someone in your cohort or similar level in grad schools that you can talk to, take classes with, do homework with, become friends with. Also, you want a grad school mentor, someone who is also a grad student, but a couple years ahead of you, to like help tell you their experience so you know what things to avoid. They can support you throughout the process, and you can get a lot of insider tips like what classes to take with who, and whose professors, like which advisors actually graduate their students in a reasonable amount of years. things like that. And then also you want to build relationships with your professors because you want to be top of mind when they're writing grants and getting fellowship money and things like that. But also they're going to be writing your letters of recommendation when you get a job after grad school. And also you're being trained to become their colleague. So grad school is not something that should be done solo. So that is something to remember. And it can be very tempting to try to isolate yourself, especially if you feel like you are so different from everyone in your program. That just means you have to work harder to get to know other people and find common ground. And then finally, my last piece of advice is to be intentional in grad school. Don't just let grad school happen to you. Don't just take these classes because you're told to. Don't just do this research because this professor is very fancy and well known in your field. Have a reason why you're doing these things. I highly recommend that you figure out what parts of grad school that you really connect with, because you are creating the life that you will be living forever. So you want to create a life that aligns with your values, and you want to create a life that you love. You don't want to spend all these years in grad school just to hate your life afterwards. What's the point, right? So I recommend figuring out which parts of grad school you like best, which parts do you like least. Keep note of that, so that you can choose a career in the future that aligns most with what you love and least with what you hate. So those are my really big pieces of advice for grad school. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you are new here, consider subscribing. I create new videos every single Sunday. And that is all for now. I'll see you next week. Bye.